Hey, how y'all doing? So as you can tell by my voice, I'm very sick and I'm just not in the mood for anything really. I tried my best with this video and I know it's a little shorter than usual, but let me know down below what type of content y'all want to see or any criticism because I'm trying to get better. I would appreciate a like or a subscribe or anything really, or just stay and enjoy the video. I hope y'all like it. This happened to me and my girlfriend I was dating back in the summer of 2014. This all took place in South Carolina, and my girlfriend and I wanted to go on a camping trip. We instantly tried to go to a place 45 miles away from our hometown, but they were going to charge us double what we thought we were going to pay for. We decided to head back, and it just occurred to me that there was a spot very close to where we lived. Now, I will say, it's more boondocking and off-grid. We didn't have to pay for anything, just parked the car and we got out. This place is quite gorgeous. There's a historic bridge and trail, also some of the oldest railroad tracks in the South. We got there before sunset, so we had plenty of time to pitch the tent and set everything up. There was a few cars when we arrived, but they were most likely hikers and would be gone by nightfall. The only thing that made us uncomfortable was a busted up and rusted up old white van with no license plate. We both pointed that out, thinking it was weird, but we shrugged it off and started walking to a good place to set up camp. After several hours around 3 a.m., following some quality time spent with her and taking in all the nature and then going to sleep, we started to hear this obscure singing and walking around our tent. Anytime you hear commotion that early in the morning, nothing good can happen out of it. I peered my head out the tent to see what was going on. I didn't see anything or anyone, but nonetheless, I didn't want to stay in that area when we both were freaked out. Just because I couldn't see it doesn't mean it's not there. I barely did a decent walk around our tent. As we were quietly gathering our belongings, we swore we heard the singing get louder. I recall the words in this song. He was singing, "Now won't y'all come out," followed by this raspy laugh. Once we finally packed the tent, there was this crunching on the leaves, and his humming is what we heard, so we knew that this guy was close by. We booked it. I grabbed her hand and threw the tent and folding chairs on my back. We made sure to run the opposite way from where we heard all this noise coming from. Luckily, we set up camp fairly close to the parking lot because I could see the light through the trees. As we ran and scurried away from whoever was chasing us, we noticed the lights from the parking lot wasn't just the street lights, but also to our horror, it was that old rusty white van we saw at the beginning. We hurried up the hill, just hoping that this guy was alone. If he had an accomplice, that would be another person to deal with. As we reached the lot, we got into this bright street light. I noticed my girlfriend's hand make a slight twitch, and her pace slowed down from that. I could tell she was turning her head to take a look at our attacker. I heard her gasp loudly, "Come on, don't look, we're almost there." She focused back, and we continued running in unison. This guy was getting closer, as I could hear the noise of the gravel intensify. I heard his wheezing and him barking, "Don't think y'all gonna get away." As we just made it past the van, we split and I handed her the keys so she can unlock and start the car, and I could throw all the gear in the trunk and we can make it out of this place. As I frantically laid the camping gear in the back seat and I headed to the driver's side, that was when my body faced forward for the first time in a while. Every noise this guy was making was close and amplified now. With the car running, I kept my head down to put it in reverse, but curiosity got the better of me. In the brightness of my headlights, this man was a behemoth with a stern, wrinkled face with red patchy hair. He had a goatee that had dirt and crud smeared all over it. His eyes were fixated on us, like a scope magnified on two 10-point bucks. He was wanting to kill. "Get back here," he barked, waving a baseball bat back and forth. I shook my head, and with that, I swerved out, and we were on our way with our hearts racing. In the rearview mirror, we saw the man slam the bat in frustration, a narrow escape. We drove to Waffle House and spent the rest of the early morning until the sunrise. When I was 16, my life changed forever. I had broken my back in a bad accident and was bedridden for months, unable to move. The pain was excruciating, but the psychological toll was even worse. being trapped in a hospital bed, staring at the same four walls every day. But I was determined to recover and get my life back. As soon as the doctors cleared me, I decided I need to get out in nature to truly heal my mind and body. My mother agreed that a camping trip down in the beautiful Devon countryside might be just what I needed. She dropped me off at a remote forested area with my tent, some supplies, and a portable charger to keep my phone powered up. I had scoped out what looked like a perfect isolated spot to set up camp. Sure, it seemed to be on the private land, but it was getting late and I didn't want to risk camping too close to a public area. I quickly pitched the tent as darkness fell, cracked open a cider, and fired up YouTube on my phone as I settled in to relax. That's when things took a turn for sinister. I noticed my phone battery was draining faster than it should, even while charging. Strange, but I tried not to think too much of it. That's when I heard it. The unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps, tramping through the underbrush, rapidly getting closer. My heart pounded. It sounded like at least 30 footfalls. Was it an aggressive hiker? Or worse, a property owner with a shotgun? In panic, I unzipped the tent and stuck my head up, preparing to face whoever was out there. But there was nothing, just the eerie silence of the forest. The footsteps that had been nearly on top of me just seconds before simply faded into an unnatural nothingness. A deep sense of dread washed over me at that moment. Something was horribly wrong here. I turned my head slowly, but my gut was telling me I wasn't alone. And that's when I saw it, barely 20 feet away, unmoving yet undoubtedly alive. A massive, skeletal beast around 5 foot tall, vaguely resembling a hairless, emaciated dog. Its blank face was frozen in a permanent bestial snarl, lips pulled back to expose rows of jagged teeth. I've never felt such primal, wordless terror. Fight or flight didn't even enter into it. I instinctively scrambled backwards into the tent and zipped it up, curling it to a tight ball on the floor. My mind had just simply shut down, overloaded by the sight of that thing. After who knows how long, I somehow thought to check my phone in desperation. It was completely drained, so I frantically swapped in the portable charger. An antagonizing 50 minutes crawled by before I finally turned back on with just 3 battery remaining. With shaking hands, I managed to text my mom a frantic plea for help. I dropped my location pin and prearranged code phrases for an emergency extraction. The phone died again before she could respond. All I could do was hunker down in my sleeping bag and try not to think of that thing that was lurking just outside those thin nylon walls. The next few hours passed by like a walking nightmare. Every minor sound, a snapping twig, a rustling bush, sent panicked visions through my mind of that towering bony creature closing in for the kill. Finally, I heard the blessed rumble of an engine in the distance. Risking a peek outside, I nearly collapsed with the relief at the sight of my mom's car pulling up. I didn't even wait for the code response. I just grabbed my bag and sprinted straight for her open arms, leaving the tent and all my other belongings behind without a second thought. To this day, I have no rational explanation for what I encountered out in those woods. Maybe it was a delirious hallucination or vivid walking dreams brought on by my stress and fatigue. Maybe it was just an unfortunate trick of light and shadow playing on my already frayed nerves. All I know is that I've never felt such an abject primal terror before or since. I hope to never encounter that thing ever again.